I wish that there were some information here on the agenda as to why this item is on the agenda. Why do you need a commission parliamentarian? I feel you have plenty of layers of bureaucracy, transparency, and how to run yourselves, okay? So I think you really owe us an explanation. I'm glad this Commissioner Bill Ong Hing raised his objections for his own reasons. Really, why do you need this commission? Excuse me, why do you need this? Yeah, that's a question too. I think we ask once in a while, why do we need this commission? But I misspoke. Why do you need a parliamentarian is my question. Thank you. Michael Petrellis again. Just a few moments ago, down the hall, the Sunshine Ordinance Task Force ruled against this commission for how you conduct general public comment. My complaint had to do with the September commission meeting where I was interrupted by Susie Loftus because I was naming the acting police chief at the time by name. You have to deal with the First Amendment and respecting the First Amendment and not interrupting speakers during public comment. Rachel will fill you in on that. What I want to discuss this evening, in addition to changing how you conduct public comment, is I want the representative from the Office of Citizen Complaints and the chief to no longer sit on the dais. There has to be very symbolic and actual separation from the commission and the department and the OCC. As I see right now, there are no nameplates in front of the chief or in front of the OCC representative. That is because they are not members of the commission. Only members of the commission should be seated on the dais. It is very important, it is beyond symbolic that the chief and the director of OCC are not sitting on the dais, that they are either in the audience or they are in the well. I want this matter considered for a future agenda item. Yeah, we need the chief here. Yes, we need the OCC rep here in the room. But the dais should be seated with only the commissioners. I think if we have that, it will, and if you have a discussion about it, it will bring some more accountability to how the commission has to oversee the department and the chief. Thank you. Hello, Michael Petrellis again. I am again going to, I've done this in the past, I'm going to do it again. I'm objecting to you going into closed session regarding disciplinary matters. Every time you go into closed session about disciplinary matters, you do away with transparency. You do away with accountability of complaints against cops. Every time you go into closed session, what I see is special privileges given to cops. Special privileges that I was never given when I was accused of crimes. And anyone who's accused of crimes in the city and across America, we don't get the right to closed sessions like the cops get. And it really does a disservice to community policing and all of the good you're trying to do with reforming the San Francisco Police Department, that complaints are lodged against cops for potential violations of various codes and statutes, and we don't even get to know their names. We don't get any information about the hearings. That is not right. It is undermining all of the good you are trying to do. I also have to file a public records request because I believe there may be a way to get your minutes. You are keeping minutes, I believe, of what happens behind the closed doors. And it's time to see if the section of the Sunshine Code will apply to a request for your minutes of what you're discussing. I believe that the law allows for such a request after a 6-year period. In any event, I'll file a request and we'll take it from there. Please don't go into closed session. Thank you.
Just for members of the public who are listening at home and folks in the audience, I think it's important to note that we don't go into closed session because we want to hide anything or we don't want to be transparent. There are state laws that require us to go into closed session. And what Mr. Petralis is nodding his head, yes, but I wish he had added that we're mandated and Supreme Court decisions not to disclose names, not to disclose certain information. If we could provide certain of that information, I would gladly do it. Go to your legislators. We have to follow the law. And not only do we have to follow the law because we're citizens of California, but most of us are lawyers, and we're bound to follow the Supreme Court precedent. We're officers of the court as well. So it is not that we're hiding anything. This is what's necessary. So and if the status changes, we'll be glad to change it. And we are looking at ways to become as transparent as possible, but still obey the law. And Commissioner Marshall.
We actually did, before the law changed, we actually did do discipline in open sessions before the law changed. So we only did that because we were required to by law and Supreme Court decisions. So like President Sherman says, it's not to take it up with us, to take it with those who make laws in the California legislature and with the Supreme Court.